You're listening to the Self-Made is a Myth, Make a Difference Together show with your host, Coach Tim Campsall, where we talk with successful business owners to hear the stories of their journeys in building their successful businesses. And more importantly, we recognize the folks who help them excel because we know that achieving business success is not something we can do on our own.
Hello, everyone. This is Coach Tim Campsall, and I'm excited to have a fellow business owner from Indiana with us today. Something unique about my guest is that she has a huge Christmas village collection, and she just loves the holiday season. In her downtime, she enjoys spending time with her dogs, and she is most proud of being in a profession that she didn't go to college for and putting in the work to become a partner. It is my pleasure to welcome Kaitlyn to the show today. Hi, Kaitlyn.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Fantastic. Well, hey, let's start with having you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit of your personal story. So what's your name, where were you born, where you live, and about your family and hobbies.
Yeah. So Kaitlyn Hodges, I grew up in Gary, Indiana, went to school there, served my entire life. Came to Indianapolis for school at IUPUI, which is no longer a thing anymore. But when I came down here, I was going to school for health service management, and I was at a chiropractor's office, and I met Amanda Parker, who owns Collective Alternative, and I met her. She offered me a job. I started working for her as a personal assistant. And I've just stayed for the last 9 years now. So that's kind of my backstory there. I just was married in 2023 to my husband, Kyle. We have 3 dogs at home. Hobbies, I love to read. It's probably my favorite hobby, but also just as any girl, love shopping. Doesn't matter what I'm shopping for, just love shopping. And hanging out with friends, especially in the summer at a pool.
Tell us about your Christmas village.
Oh, my Christmas village. So it started off as it was a little cupcake shop, little truck. My mom bought for me one Christmas. She was like, I thought it was cute, had your name on it. So I bought it. Well, that turned into me gaining like 2 to 3 for the first like 2 or 3 years. And then one year they were having a huge sale, and I bought probably like 20. And then since then, I've gained more. It takes up my entire dining room, some of my fireplace mantle. So I have 2 Christmas trees. I'm Christmas obsessed, as everybody likes to call me in the office. But I do have lots of Christmas stuff. But my Christmas village is probably the biggest collection I have.
I love it. Well, Kaitlyn, what's a funny story that your family likes to tell about you that you'd be willing to share with us today?
Oh, there's probably lots. So my late grandpa, I always made fun of like how slow he drove. And it wasn't anything bad. He was always putting around town. So it wasn't anything crazy. But there was one year where I played softball my entire life, and I was learning how to pitch, and they would speed test you at the end of like the weeks of lessons. Well, I got up to like 40 something, and my grandpa had asked me how that went. And I said, well, I can pitch faster than you can drive now. I was like probably 11 or 12. Not the nicest thing to say at this point, but everybody always finds it the funniest thing, because he definitely just started laughing. He was like, well, that's great. I'm so proud of you. Just took it in stride.
So Kaitlyn, tell us, how did the business come about? And I know that you're in the process of taking over the business. So at what point did you have the confidence that you could run the business?
Probably not for maybe the last few years. So Amanda had started the business in 2008. So business has been around, be 17 years this year. But she started it with the passion for small business and making sure they were well taken care of, since they're the lifeblood of our community. And when I first joined, I knew nothing about marketing. I think I had taken one class in school, but learning and figuring it all out, she gave me the confidence that you can work in this field and it's okay that you don't know anything. So she's kind of taught me everything I know about marketing. And I would say probably the last year or two have I gained the actual confidence. It's always been a conversation if I would want to whenever she was ready, but in probably the last year or two have I really gained that confidence that I can do it. Still get a little nervous sometimes because there's so much that goes into it. And I feel like I learn something new every day, but it was probably not in the last year or two that I actually had the confidence that I was like, oh, yeah, I think I could do this.
Fantastic. So tell us a little bit more about the company. What's the name? What do you guys do? How do you help people?
Yeah, so we are Collective Alternative. We're a full service marketing agency. What's unique about us is though we can do everything in the marketing realm, photos, video, website, graphic design, content creation, we take the strategy approach first to make sure that what we're doing is surrounded by your objectives so that what we are doing matches what you want to get to or what goals you want to get to, whether that's brand awareness or lead gen. That is our goal whenever we're creating those tactics. Not everybody's strategy is the same. Not everybody has the same tactics. It's very unique to you and your business. But starting with a strategy first mindset to make sure that we're just not throwing things at a wall and hoping that they stick, having some real plan behind it.
Yeah, I love it. Shifting gears a little bit here, Kaitlyn, share a story where someone pushed you or inspired you that you could do it, even though maybe you weren't sure that you could, and the impact that that person had on you.
Again, Amanda, I mean, I came in with no knowledge. I was getting to the end of college and I was trying to get into the medical device business. And I was struggling to get into it. And she said, well, why don't you just stay? And I said, I know absolutely nothing about it. And she was like, well, let me quiz you. Let's just see. So she quizzed me and I could answer all those things. I didn't realize I could answer all those things just by sitting in her living room at the time, listening to their conversations and getting into the weeds on some things. But she was like, yes, you can. You know everything. Like, you know the basics. You could do this. And then I have had many roles at my time at Collective Alternative, and she also, same time. I was unsure. I really wanted to get into sales. She's like, you can do it. You can go talk to people. You love talking to people. You can do it. You know all of our tactics. You know how the business works. So the push and the drive that she always, I mean, it's not just me. She does it for her entire team, but the push and drive that she's done it and has been consistently pushing me, that is why I feel confident enough to be that partner and be an owner soon.
That's awesome. So as you're embarking on this ownership journey and currently in a partner role, what's been your biggest learning?
Patience. I always joke that I don't know that, like, when God was passing out those personality traits, if he gave me enough patience, because I always just want to get it done. I want to become an expert at it, and I want to make sure I'm doing good by everybody. So I strive really hard to make sure that I'm getting it done. I'm getting it done fast. And that's just not possible. I have to learn, and I have to be patient with myself, be patient with others as they're teaching me, or as I'm learning how to handle situations. So I would say patience and grace. Goodness, some grace. It would be great to go around. I'm really good at giving grace to others, but not to myself. So learning that has been definitely different.
Yeah, we certainly can get in situations eat ourselves up, right? And
Yes.
don't forgive ourselves for, just being human.
Yes. Or not learning something fast enough, or not knowing how to handle a situation right off the hat.
And isn't it interesting? You just mentioned that you show grace to others, but not to yourself. So isn't it interesting how we sort of have a double standard of it's okay for our team to be human, but not ourselves?
Yes. Yeah.
Kaitlyn, we know that business success doesn't happen in isolation. So tell us about your biggest challenge throughout the years and someone who came alongside you and helped you through that.
So I think our challenge, and I think that's a lot of people's challenges, are people, finding good people to hire and make sure that they are well developed so that they stay around and feel loyal. I think we've been struggling with that for a while, ever since we decided to grow. And I will say, I think just having a good team around you, we like to call it the core.
Mm.
Um, Two of them are no longer here anymore, but that core helped us develop like who we wanted to be, who were the people we were looking for. Um, and I think now we have that team that is just super loyal. They play or work hard, play hard. They understand why we're doing what we're doing, and they truly love our clients like we love our clients, which is really hard to find.
Yeah, you talked about, figuring out who you are. It's so important to understand, what's our vision, what's our values and belief for our culture, because when we can attract people who are aligned, then there's just a more natural flow of the day to day versus
Yeah.
if you have people who aren't culturally aligned, you just know it's just not, the synergy isn't there, right?
No. And I feel like we've really got that team that can really just hone in on that.
Fantastic. That's awesome. Now, I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit here and ask you to pick three people in your journey that you're most grateful for them being there for you and helping with the business's growth. So, who are those three people and how they help you?
Specifically for me, I'd have to say my parents. They were a little shocked when I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna buy the company," and they're like, "Oh, what? You're gonna do what?" But they've been very supportive. Always Amanda. I mean, I wouldn't be where I am if not for her. Um, Third person, I would probably put my husband in that same category. It was a learning curve for him because I'm very dedicated to my work. So when we first got together, he was like, "You work a lot." And I was like, "Because I love what I'm doing."
Yeah.
He's been also very supportive. He loves hearing what's going on at the office. He loves hearing the cool stuff that we're doing. He, when I told him that I was going to buy the company, he was like, "Let's do it. How can I help you? What do you need?" So I think all of those three, even though my parents are like a group, so four, um, they've all just been very supportive in that journey, no matter which stage I'm at. And it's been nice having a good support system behind me the entire time.
Yeah, having that support is so key because the business owner journey has some roller coasters, right? And
Yeah.
some surprises and some setbacks. So being able to have that strong network at home and people encouraging and supporting us along the way is super important. So I'm so happy to hear that you've got that.
No, I definitely do. I have been blessed to have that support system through each stage.
Kaitlyn, as you think about the next 1 to 2 years, what's either the number one priority or the challenge that you need to overcome in order to achieve your long-term goals?
Yeah. So I think for the company, it's just growth, growing the team. So we have experts in each area, but then also growing in sales and being able to help more people. Um, I love to help small businesses. So making sure that we are bringing those people in and finding the right clients for us, so that we can help them grow too. Personally, in the next 1 to 2 years, I'll be learning even more owner stuff. So making sure that I'm understanding what I'm learning. I think the biggest part that I've learned in the past year is HR and financials. So now learning deeper into those, taxes, things like that. So making sure that I'm well equipped, because in 3 years, I will be that owner, full owner, and just making sure that I'm confident and prepared.
Fantastic. Yeah. Yeah. You make a good point there. There's a difference between, the day-to-day of, running the business versus, owning the business. So the profession of business ownership, right,
Yeah.
has its own skill set and knowledge and factors that come into play that, are different than, just the day-to-day operation. So
Yeah.
good to hear that you've got that awareness and that you're focused on that learning curve. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Last question here. Jim Rohn says that we become the average of the 5 people that we spend the most time with. So as you think about that quote, what advice would you have for others, who are exploring business ownership or are newer to business and they're trying to do everything on their own?
Find people to help you. You don't have to do everything out on your own. Be the expert in whatever you are doing, whether that's a B2B company or a business to consumer company. Be good at what you are doing and then find others to help you in those other areas. Find a business coach that can help you guide you through what that should look like. Find a marketing team that can help you find new leads or brand you. Find a CPA that can help you with your financials. Just find those partners that can really set you up. I think that's the biggest thing I've learned probably in this past year is why we have the partners that we do and why they are who they are, because they've helped us get to where we are now and they continue to help us grow and they grow with us. So finding that group of people that can really help get you to where you are wanting to get.
I love it. Kaitlyn, sounds like you've been blessed with some incredible people along your journey. If they were all here on the show today, what would you want to say to them?
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I love it. Awesome. Kaitlyn, it has been a pleasure speaking with you today. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me. I loved it.
Thanks for listening to the Self-Made is a Myth show. Please help spread this movement by liking and subscribing to our show and following us on Facebook and LinkedIn. To join our movement, go to bemadtogether.com. Okay, folks, that's a wrap. Please pay it forward and be sure to tune in next time to the Self-Made is a Myth podcast.